Hey, I'm Josh Turley, CEO of RTA Fleet. We're in the fleet management space for government entities, so city of, county of, managing all of their different assets, specifically the maintenance and cost of those assets, kind of like a back office system. Currently about 14 million in ARR, 75 full-time employees, mostly here in office in Phoenix, Arizona, with some remote across the country and an offshore, nearshore development team. So something a little bit unique about our business is that it's a family-owned business, and I'm the third generation owner. So I actually took over as CEO in 2015. We were maybe about 2 million, a little under 2 million in recurring revenue at that point. Still doing perpetual license software. We started in 1979, so we're probably one of the oldest startups that you're seeing. We like to refer to ourselves as a 45-year-old startup. I call that it's third generation. So I bought the company in 2017 and it led us through a SaaS transition. So I've done the re-platforming work, the re-business model work, and now, going from essentially 1.8 when I took over to 14 today. Yeah, it's one of the big things that I had to learn early on because I was a first-time CEO and I'd never really seen a good CEO. My dad was the CEO before me, but he was an engineer by trade, was not, like a normal business executive or had a super business mind. So I had to turn outside for help a lot, especially my early years as a young 20-something-year-old kid. Barely educated, so I have, double bachelor's degrees and a master's degree. So it's, an education background, but quickly I had to go get mentorship. So I had some mentors here locally in Phoenix that were helping me. It was just some general business stuff, but I went through the gamut. So I was part of EntreLeadership masterminds for a long time, learning how to operate just business in general. That wasn't quite scratching that itch. I turned to Patrick Lencioni. He's probably one of my favorite authors. And I usually say that that $250 box set was worth more than any piece of paper I got from ASU, which is not to slight ASU, but it's just those books were really impactful for me and his work with the table group. Even that was lacking something. We were missing a little bit of direction. So I went through Elite Entrepreneurs, which is a group that spun out of Keep/Infusionsoft. And that one was really good for us, really getting clear about building a vision and creating a sustained company. What are the things that you have to do, the meeting rhythms, the weekly rituals, all the things that really good high performing companies do. But that lacked a little bit of, I'm in these peer groups there and it was awesome, but I'm with a bunch of lawyers and I'm with doctors. And I think there was like a construction agency in there. Somebody made air compressors, really cool, wide variety of businesses, but nobody that was really selling SaaS or talking about the go to market challenges in a SaaS business, the valuation, what are some of the options that are open to us? How do we structure the work? So it's difficult to find peers that knew me, talked like me. So we got to SaaS Academy. So I, am part of Dan Martell's group over there. And that's really awesome for playbooks and for education. They've got a whole campus you can be a part of. But the peer groups, I always felt were kind of lacking something. They would try to get sustained peer groups going, but the level of engagement seemed to be a little bit off. It was different people coming in all the time. And joining Greg Head's group, I will tell you, is just, this is a different group that I'm a part of. The peer group, the quality of the peer group is completely, it's night and day different for me. And I think that actually has a lot to do with the people that are on the call. They're all just as invested in my business and, asking questions. They're curious, and they genuinely want to help. Not to say that the Dan Martell Mastermind, they don't want to do that, but it's the quality and the depth of the conversation. I feel like I'm connected with my practical founder peer group, whereas my SaaS Academy peer group is more just a collection of other founders that are talking about themselves. And so the focus of the group, the vulnerability in the conversations, I will say the PFPG is completely different. The depth of the conversations we get into, we talk about the real challenges that entrepreneurs face dealing with, kids, addiction, challenges at home in marriages. We've gone into, challenges with co-founders and how do I handle the situation with my business partner? Some really sticky stuff. And this group, I think maybe just continuity of it too. Our group has been together for about 2 years, maybe even a little bit longer than that. And it just, that continuity, I feel like leads to some really incredible chemistry. And we're all on almost every call. Whereas the Martell group, the SaaS Academy group, it's difficult to get the same group consistently through every session. And I think that hinders it a little bit. Part of the reason I think that's a big deal, though, is because of the frequency. We meet every single month for 4 hours, every single month. So it's a time commitment, but it's a time commitment that we all want to make. And it's really important that we're all there. So, and I don't see that same commitment from the other groups. So I'd say even beyond just the group, right? Because obviously, Greg, you're part of this group and you kind of facilitate the discussion, and you always have some really good perspective. But even just privately, being able to talk through things like, should we go out and get this investment? Should we raise debt? What do you think about this marketing problem? We've talked about, hey, I've got this struggle with my marketing leader. How do I help hold them accountable? So just being able to have that sounding board of somebody who's been there, gone through it, lived through it, has the scars to show, and can help kind of avoid stepping on the same landmines, as it were, has been super, super valuable to me. I think people who are a really good fit for this group, it's in the name, right? It's practical people. It's people that are, we're ambitious, we're hungry, we're driven, but we're not like grow at all costs, drunk on Kool-Aid kind of a thing. Uh, we're practical. We know where the party stops. We try to do things in a reasonable way. We know where our challenges are. We're looking for help, right? Like, a good fit for this is somebody that's genuinely looking for other people to kind of weigh in on their business. I mean, they're willing to open up about their things. I would say that a good fit for this business, or for this peer group, I should say, is somebody that understands that it's not necessarily about the exit. They're trying to build something a little bit differently. They don't want to go the normal, Silicon Valley route. They're trying to find their own way, and because there's a lot of different ways to succeed in SaaS. And so they've kind of gotten tired of the same rat race, or seeing other people go through the same rat race, and they know they want to try to do something a little different. So I'd say this group is probably a little bit atypical of your normal, you get into a SaaS group, or then even go into like a, SaaS founded group. It's probably a little bit older of a firm, maybe going through a transition, or you're a new firm, but you've been in the industry for a little while. Maybe this is round 2, 3 for you, but you're just trying to do it different. Instead of getting drunk on us, you're really customer centric, customer focused, and trying to build it out the right way and build out something that's fun to be at, instead of just working towards that exit endlessly.